to Transformations Notes lesson. This is not in our packet, but this is a quick lesson about how to do 90-degree rotations about the origin. So we're going to do rotations clockwise and counterclockwise for 90 degrees today. So in front of you, hopefully you have the notes. If not, I have loaded them in the link below on my Moodle page. And so they look like this: transformations 90 degrees around the origin. So we're going to talk about 90-degree rotations today, and this is what we want to have written down, okay, to start out. First of all, we're going to talk about 90 degrees clockwise rotations. And clockwise is a rotation that moves with a clock, okay? So same direction that the hands of a clock would move, so this direction. And the rule for rotating 90 degrees clockwise is this. If you have an ordered pair and you rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, you then switch the ordered pair so that the y is now first and the x is second, and that second coordinate you're going to make opposite. For example, in numbers, okay, you might have the ordered pair 2, 5. Under a 90 degrees clockwise rotation then, you would switch that. So 5 would come first and 2 second, and you would make the 2 opposite of what it was. So it was positive, so you make it negative. And so that's going to be how we're going to get our coordinates for clockwise rotations of 90 degrees. Now, we also are going to be working with counterclockwise as well. So counterclockwise is a very similar strategy, and that is going to be, well, first of all, counterclockwise is going the opposite direction of a clock. So we're going to be rotating things the other way. And if you have an ordered pair, x, y, and you go counterclockwise, again, you're going to flip the 2 coordinates so that y comes first and x comes second. But this time, the difference is we are going to make the first coordinate the opposite. So, for example, if you have 2, 5 again, and you go 90 degrees counterclockwise with it, you are going to flip the coordinates, so 5 is first and 2 is second, and you are going to make the first coordinate opposite. So we're going to make that negative 5. Okay, hopefully that was enough time for you to get the notes down. If not, go ahead and pause the video, take the rest of the notes, and then I'm going to do some examples on the homework with you. So below this and on the back side here is the homework. If you clicked the link to get the homework, it will be loaded as 2 pages. So below here is our homework. It says, write what the new coordinates of each point will be if rotated 90 degrees clockwise. So that is an important thing. 90 degrees clockwise is going to tell us what notes we should be working with, okay? And so we need to be working with these notes. So starting with 5, negative 8. Well, it tells us we're going to switch the coordinates around. So negative 8 will be first, and 5 will be second. And it also tells us right here that that second coordinate has to be opposite. So we get negative 8, negative 5. Okay? Let's try again. So Z starts as 8, 9. We're going to go 90 degrees clockwise. So we're going to flip those coordinates to be 9, 8. And it says the second one needs to be opposite. So it's 9, negative 8. And that's how you do these all the way down, because all of these are clockwise rotations of 90 degrees. So same rules apply for each one. Now we're going to go ahead and flip this to the back, because there's some others on the back that we should probably talk about and make sure everyone knows how to do. So we have the same set of ordered pairs here at the top, only this time it says to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we're going to use our notes for counterclockwise, and I'm going to quickly flip this around. And counterclockwise say this: start with a point, right? and then flip it, and the first one becomes opposite. So we're going to start with our point, 5, -8. We're going to flip it so that -8 is first and 5 is second now. And now the first one's going to be opposite. It was -8, so now we're going to make that a +8. Okay, and so I just made mine into a plus sign. You could erase it or not write it in the first place. Let's try again. So Z, you start with 8, 9. We're going to flip it, so that is 9, 8. And again, we are focused then on the first one being opposite, so 9 becomes negative. And you follow those all the way down. When you get to the next section, next two sections actually, which both have graphs available, you're going to do the same thing, only you are going to find your rotation and then you're going to put it back on the graph. For example, ABC is on the graph here. Before you start, you're really going to need to know the original coordinates. So point A, for example, is at the spot -6, 7. And you need to know that because when we go to rotate it over here, we need to know, oh, it was -6, 7. Counterclockwise means I'm going to flip them, right? So it's going to be 7, -6. And not only am I going to flip them, but the first one is going to be opposite. So my new coordinate for A prime is going to be -7, -6. So I'm going to put that on there. -7, -6 is going to be my A prime right here. And so thinking about this, 90 degrees counterclockwise means I'm going to turn it this way. So it makes sense that it's in this quadrant. Okay, point B. Point B is at the spot -4, 3. Okay, so to do it counterclockwise, I'm going to flip that, and I'm going to make it 3, -4. And I'm also going to switch that 3 to a negative. So B prime should be at -3, -4. Makes sense. It landed in the quadrant we needed it to. Finally, you do point C. Point C is at the point -6, 3. So to do the counterclockwise rotation of 90 degrees, you flip it, so it's 3, -6, and then you change the first one to its opposite, so it's -3, -6, and you put it on. -3, -6 is right here. Here's C prime. Reconnect, and it should look like you rotated this original triangle 90 degrees counterclockwise, and it does. You will do the same thing for 22, where you have to graph it, only you're going to do clockwise. So go back to your original coordinates and do it clockwise and put it back on the same graph. Similarly, 23 and 24, you are going to rotate the quadrilateral both clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, so that's a quick little lesson of 90-degree clockwise and counterclockwise rotations and the rules that go with them. If you have questions, please see me before school and I will help you out as much as I can. Have a wonderful day today.